Tonight, Manchester City have the chance to put the pressure back on the leaders Arsenal and cut the gap at the top of the league to 3 points. They face Fulham tomorrow night, despite an impressive victory at Anfield last time out. Pep Guardiola has questioned whether his side can go on a winning run required to win this title.
Every time in the last month, last weeks, every time when I go before the game in a flash interview, always you lose, you are losing everything, and you are going to disappear for the planet Earth and this kind of stuff. So we're going to drop, maybe not Fulham, but maybe it will be against Newcastle, or maybe in the next. And I understand how nice that 9 points, 3 points, this kind of stuff. That is okay, but that is not make winning titles or arriving in the last stages to try to win. You know, to be close to fight for win the titles. When 65 or 70% is new players, we don't have that we had in the past right now. Before, after second season or third season we have done it, okay, we are able to do okay. We prove it that, but now we had to prove it. Now I don't know. I don't know if we are able to win 3, 4, 5, 6 games in a row. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know, he says. Do you believe him? I mean, we're so used to watching them
Listen,
go on.
if Pep don't know, none of us know.
OK,
that's
fair
the
enough.
truth of it. That's what made me laugh. But, I mean, obviously, they've had a season where you keep thinking they're going to kick into gear and, like, go on this massive run and then they get beat. And I think that's, you know, that's it, the caution in his voice. He still looks in his side and thinks, When I see them play, I still think it's not the same team. It's not the same. There's no solid base to it. The Rodri back four protection isn't there that they used to have. So they're a little, you can get at them, and I think that's why they've lost the odd game here and there. They still got a great chance of winning the league, of course, and they've got the playing squad to do it. I do think he needs to sort out the security of his team. If he sorts that out, then they've got a chance of winning trophies.
Yeah, I mean, you're totally right, because the evidence this season doesn't suggest that they can go on and put together a winning run to overhaul the points gap to Arsenal at the top of the league. What I wanted to do was have a look back at the final 13 matches of Premier League seasons just to find out who has gone on an amazing run and put together the best record. Now, Manchester City 2018-19 was the season I wanted to highlight. That was the 98-point season, the amazing run, beating Liverpool to the title. At this stage, with 13 games to go, they were 3 behind Liverpool that season. They managed to overhaul it and were unbeaten to the end of the season, notching 39 points. Arsenal did it as well, 2001-2, but you can also see by the final positions there, even if you put together at this stage of the season an astonishing run, you're not necessarily going to go on and win the league. It feels like this is really crunch time now. Maybe we've gone past the point of crunch time for Manchester City. Maybe it is just too much to do at this stage of the season. But they have got it in them. They've done it before. But as Alan quite rightly points out, the evidence this season suggests that Manchester City aren't as strong as these sides that we're looking at in the big screen here. I'm
going to sort of counterbalance that, because they obviously brought in Marc Guéhi. You talk about the defence. He is an incredible player. In fact, he stopped a goal at the weekend. Could he be the difference, do you think, to going on and winning this league?
Well, and also, I see John Stones is returning tonight. I think he's an important player for them as well. Guéhi is an outstanding signing. I mean, I'm a massive fan of his, and I hope he's going to be the England centre-back. So, you know, if there is anybody who can do it, it's him. But he keeps changing that back four, and I don't think it's really set. So if he can just get a set back four and Rodri can start reaching the heights. I thought he was a little bit better against Liverpool, actually, at the weekend. So it looks like, you know, as games go on, he's getting better. So that run that they need to do, he has it in the dressing room. It's just where he can get it on the pitch.
Yeah, and it's interesting because Arsenal are looking so good, but still they have their frailties. Is it theirs to lose, though, do you think? Yeah,
and of course, you know, like I go back to when Alex Ferguson won his first title for Man United. For Arsenal, they're going to be under the same pressure, you know, the first one for a long, long time. It's really difficult to get across the line. So our nerves going to kick in. Are they going to get, you know, are they going to get beaten near the end of the season? I suggest they probably will. So who knows? I still think Arsenal are obviously the favourites, and I would expect them to win it. But it won't be as straightfortard. I don't see it.
I mean, you always make a point that they have come second, you know, and that's difficult enough, you know, for the last 3 seasons. So it's fourth time lucky.
Well, you know, like anything, you have to build, and that's important that they've got that. And now they've got to do that step beyond. The step beyond madness on.
Yes, madness.
We've had Diana Ross tonight.
Yeah, a bit of madness, yeah.
I know. Right, we'll go to it if you can. Right, it's two teams in good form going head-to-head at the London Stadium. West Ham taking on Manchester United. Chris Reedy is there for us. I think so. I think you're there somewhere. That's not Chris Reedy, that's Gail Davis. I think we're going to try to go to Chris Reedy. But before we go there, you were talking about how tough this is going to be in terms of Manchester United against West Ham, because West Ham are always good performers against them. I think Chris is ready. So let's go there now. I'm being told he is. Here he is. So I'll put that question to you, Chris, because Alan was telling us that West Ham will be tough opponents, won't they, tonight?
Yeah, I'd have to agree with Alan. I think it's interesting actually with West Ham. Since Lucas Paquetá was out of the squad, first of all through injury, second of all through being transferred to Flamengo, West Ham have got this new way of playing where they've been playing the two strikers up top, Pablo and Tati Castellanos. On the weekend it was Callum Wilson. Since then, look, the form has been what it's been. They've obviously won the last few games, apart from the Chelsea game in the league. But it'd be interesting tonight, I think, with Manchester United, and especially the form of Bruno Fernandes, if West Ham go with that formation. I think if you've ever watched a game here at the London Stadium, you would have seen it's a big old pitch, and you just don't want to give that space to Bruno Fernandes. So, you know, Nuno made a tactical change in the second half against Burnley, where he brought Freddie Potts on, just to kind of sit in front of the back four. Freddie Potts, who's had a really good season since he came in, maybe dipped slightly kind of in recent weeks. So that will be an interesting way to see, you know, to see where Nuno goes. You know, Michael Carrick and Man United, what can you say about them? Obviously, the 4 wins and 4 in the Premier League, you know, beating Man City, Arsenal, Fulham and then Spurs. They've been playing with freedom. They've been playing with smiles on their faces, you know, players in their correct positions. So, yeah, 2 informed teams in the league. West Ham with a chance to, you know, get that, the 3 points and obviously go level with Nottingham Forest on points. Man United, a huge chance to, you know, not just get the 5 wins out of 5, but to also go 3rd in the league on goal difference, to go 8 points ahead of Liverpool, you know, really solidify that Champions League place. Of course, they don't have to play European football, do they? So it's a massive chance for them to get up the table. And yeah, look, if you compare the game to the one in December where it was at Old Trafford, a 1-1 draw that day, both teams were in a completely different space. You know, Man United seem a lot happier under Michael Carrick. West Ham, they were just getting into a winless streak there. They got a I think it was about 83-minute equaliser with Magassa, but they were about to go on a bit of a streak without winning. Now they're just winning all the time, like I said, apart from that Chelsea game. So, yeah, should be a fascinating game. Kickoff's at 8:15, and team news will be with you very shortly in this hour.
Thank you very much, Chris. OK, 2 teams that are in good form at the moment go head-to-head tonight. It's Chelsea against Leeds. We had a sneak preview of this lady that we're going to speak to now just a few moments ago. Gail Davis, ready to speak to us as always. This will be an interesting encounter because it could have a big effect at both ends of the table, couldn't it?
Yeah, good evening, Vicky. Lucky we were behaving ourselves as ever. We were just actually watching the Leeds coach arrive just behind us a few minutes ago. And they arrive in good form, more of them in a moment, because it's Chelsea, isn't it, who've really impressed over the last few weeks. 7 wins in his first 9 games for Liam Rosina. The 2 defeats coming against Arsenal. And there were fans that were very, very sceptical when he took the job. But he really has transformed the confidence of this side. You've seen the likes of João Pedro really sort of blossom over the last few weeks under him, and in particular, of course, Cole Palmer with a first half hat-trick of 25 minutes was all it took him on the weekend. A win tonight could take them 4th, which would be great reward for them, and then they can head to Hull in the FA Cup. It's been 32 days that Liam Rosina would have had to play those 9 games. So he's very much looking forward to getting this game out of the way with a win. And then he'll actually have a midweek where he can concentrate on his side to carry on building that momentum towards the end of the season and hopefully Champions League qualifications. So what of Leeds? Well, it was a belting performance for them, wasn't it, on Friday night against Nottingham Forest. They've now 6 points ahead of West Ham, who take up that final drop zone. And it was the game against Chelsea back in December which really transformed their fortunes. They've only lost 2 in 11 in the Premier League since. He's changed his formation to a back 3, and they have a real belief in their side. Daniel Farke yesterday talking about points, not worrying as much as just keeping winning. They're not they're not going to get drawn into this 38-40 points. But it will be a tough ask for them, won't it? Because their Premier League record away from home is pretty torrid. It's just 2 wins in 25. So we've got team news in the next 5 minutes or so. Watch out for Reece James. Does he make it or not with illness? We know that Leeds have got a few missing as well, so it'll be interesting to see which formation and who lines up for them.
Yeah, we'll look out for the team news. Thank you very much indeed, Gail.